So that was a disaster.
We got double ulted by Deadpool and Strange at the cart. I don't think tactics exist for that.
There were tactics. You just decided tactics meant run shield first into 3 people while Luna Snow is tap dancing on the point.
Okay, that one was on me.
And the Hawkeye who followed you in for one more volley was on you too.
Look, season patch dropped yesterday. Half the lobby is abusing whatever Reddit said was secret OP, and Deadpool's ultimate literally punishes people for missing.
You're just mad your boomer patriot with a shield isn't auto-winning anymore.
You play Hawkeye. You have no moral high ground.
You're still running into Deadpool in your area like it's a party and not a cry for help. It's a full-screen TikTok of his face. You can't even see your cooldowns.
So what do you think is busted right now? Oh, great calibrator?
You really want to do this?
Why not? We're already arguing. Might as well monetize it.
You're actually thinking of turning this into a video.
Commander Shepard and Garrus Vicarian rank every hero after the latest patch. Tell me that doesn't print views.
Fine. But if you put Hawkeye below B tier because you're salty about my damage numbers...
No promises. Let's start with Adam Warlock. I'm thinking...
And that's why you should never trust patch notes written in Comic Sans. Sup, losers?
What?
Yes, hi. It's me, Marvel Rivals Season 6 poster boy, Merc with a mouth, DPS, tank, healer, streamer, leaking the script you're reading right now.
Did you just...
And special guest star in Shepard finally sells out for views. Love the title, by the way.
How are you even here? This is a private server.
I literally reprogrammed my own kit. You think Discord permissions are gonna stop me?
We were in the middle of ranking the roster.
No, you weren't. You were about to put Adam Warlock in B tier like cowards instead of A tier where the script says he goes, look, it's right there.
What script?
He means the patch notes, Shepard.
Sure. Patch notes. Definitely not a 12-page Google Doc labeled Rivals Tier List Final reel this time. Totally didn't see that.
Garrus, we are not keeping him in this call.
Plot twist. You are. I checked the analytics. You slapped Deadpool in the title. That thumbnail is doing numbers.
He's got a point.
You're siding with him?
If I have to endure him in my game, the least he can do is drag our channel out of bronze.
See? The Turian gets it.
Fine. You can stay. But if this recording turns into an hour of you listing curse words to see what gets past monetization...
Already tried that in-game. They cut me off at T for teen. Relax, Commander Clickbait. I'll be good. Okay, I'll be on brand. Close enough.
Adam Warlock, where are we putting him?
Not where Solo Q thinks he belongs, that's for sure. Every time I see an Adam lock in, it's either a secret god or a guy who thinks healer means AFK on high ground farming headshots at clouds.
Hey, those clouds are dangerous. Could be Storm.
I'm gonna be real. When he's good, he feels disgusting. You get an Adam who actually aims, and suddenly your HP bar just refuses to go down. Soul links up. You're glowing. You're getting topped off while he's beaming their front line.
Keyword, when. When he hits his shots. When your team doesn't throw themselves behind 3 walls and out of his line of sight. When you're running triple strategist and he doesn't have to solo heal 5 people.
Triple strategist is a lifestyle choice. Some of us like 5-minute poke comps where nobody dies and the only thing that changes is my mounting boredom.
You play the duelist version of yourself and dive their backline on cooldown.
Yeah, because I locked him after seeing the triple strategist comp. It's called balance, Shepard.
Focus. Anyways, Adam's great sustain at the start of fights. Really strong if he's pre-positioned and has his cooldowns. The tether peel is nice and he can keep a diver off you if he's paying attention.
And the I refuse to die button.
Self-res plus the big stasis bubble. Yeah, great at stopping a push, not great at flipping one.
That's my issue. His ult is pure defense. If we're already winning the fight, it's overkill. If we're losing, it lets us not lose yet. It doesn't turn the fight the way Gambit or Jeff can.
He's also greedy. He wants aim, positioning, and your team to play around his angles while Rocket's just healing you from a rooftop.
But you can't ignore the ceiling. I've had games where a good Adam turns every choke into a no-fly zone. You push into him, he's tagging you non-stop, his soul link keeps your tank unkillable, and he's doing more DPS than your actual duelist.
Sure. High-rank coordinated play, Adam looks A-tier easy, but we're not making a what if my team listened list. We're making a what do you get when you solo queue at 2 a.m. and your tank's name is 420 Venom main list.
Spoken like a man who's been there.
So we agree he's not trash. I'm between B and conditional A. He's clearly better than the real problem picks, but he's also very stats don't tell the full story territory.
Put him in B and call it a skill check. If your Adam is cracked, he plays like A. But most people can't or won't do what he needs, so in practical terms, B.
B for Bubble Boy. B for Baby. Please hit your headshots. B for barely not throwing if you know what you're doing. I'm fine with B.
B tier it is. Next up, Black Panther.
Oh, good. The character every solo queue chat thinks they are and absolutely are not.
You sound bitter.
I am bitter. Every time a Black Panther on my team locks in, I can hear the "I'm gonna flank" trust in their breathing, and every time they vanish into the back line like a tax return...
You don't breathe.
Exactly. That's how bad it is. They stress respiration into my cannon.
Anyways, he's a dive bruiser with high mobility and short range. He lives and dies on timing and whether your supports remember you exist.
What he has going for him is his double dash, the gap closer, his windows.
Your backline has approximately 3 seconds to live windows.
Right. But how often do you actually see that outside coordinated stacks?
In ranked, maybe 1 in 5 games there's a Panther who understands he isn't a main tank. The rest are parkour attempts with a respawn timer.
Okay, but counterpoint, when I play him...
We're not ranking your ego, we're ranking the hero.
We don't have enough tiers for his ego.
Oh, wow! Sniper boy with the body shots today. I'm just saying, kit-wise, he's got what he needs. Vertical mobility, hard engage, soft disengage, and that stupid sustain tap once he's in a brawl.
The sustain is good if you get value on entry and don't whiff the first combo.
He's also extremely matchup dependent. Toss him into comps with peel, stuns, and forced displacement. He looks like a training dummy. Put him into chaos lobbies where nobody's watching their backline. He farms ult off your healers.
Which is to say, he's cracked if your lobby has bronze awareness. Mid if they've ever seen a flanker before.
So for solo queue, that sounds like B tier, high B if we're being generous.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. B for the King of Wakanda? For the guy who literally backflips off my skull every game?
If you want national honors, get better peel.
The problem isn't his damage. His damage is fine. It's uptime. He goes in, blows everything, and then he either snowballs or evaporates. No ranged poke or real zoning. If you don't give him windows, he's just pacing on rooftops.
That's a skill issue. Panther main's coping in chat. He's not bad, you're just not good enough to deserve him. And listen, I love that energy. I live off that energy. But we're ranking average games, not your one YouTube montage where everything crit.
Exactly. In average ranked, you lock Panther and your team thinks you're the main tank. Suddenly, you're first in, no cooldowns, and your healers are still tabbed out in spawn.
In coordinated play, though...
Sure, in 5 stacks he looks way better. You set up dive timings, chain him with displacement, he jumps after stuns instead of into them.
And then suddenly, the enemy supports are uninstalling, because this cat just appeared out of a wall, hit every button, and then healed through 3 people trying to peel him off.
That's what I mean. He scales with communication. The floor is low, the ceiling is moderately high. Not game warping, but threatening.
So do we rank for coordinated play or for solo queue reality?
We rank for I hit solo queue without friends because my therapist told me I needed to socialize. So we rank for pain.
That's B tier.
You're both cowards. At least bump him to A. Dude's mobility alone lets him neutralize half the static heroes on certain maps. High ground maps? He owns them. Tight corridors? He farms. Point maps with 0 cover, okay? He cries. But still...
You just described situational.
He's also countered by the same stuff everyone's already running. Hard stuns, knockbacks, and beam heroes who don't care about his little wiggle.
You're talking like he doesn't have that mini invuln on his engage. You know how many times I've watched him dive through 3 ults and live with 3 pixels because of his passives?
And you also know how many times he dies mid-pounce because someone breathed on him with a stun. It's high risk, high reward in theory. In practice, it's a coin flip.
From a stats perspective, he's not a must-pick. You don't build comps around him. You add him when you already have structure and want a playmaker. That's not S, and rarely A.
Okay, but can we at least acknowledge he's one of the few melee heroes who doesn't feel like complete throw in solo queue?
I'll give you that. He's one of the more viable melees. Doesn't mean he jumps a whole tier.
Fine. But I want it on record that I argued for A Panther mains. You know where the real tier is. We'll do our own list. A secret list. A better list. With blackjack and hookers.
All right, Black Widow.
Oof. Ah, yes, the Kingsman special.
We're not calling it that.
Buddy, the internet already did. You tell a guy in a 40 grand tourney, no, you can't ask my 200 ping Black Widow OTP to swap. And suddenly, every Widow lock in my ranked games thinks they're a civil rights icon.
You are absolutely using that drama to bury her.
No, reality is burying her. I'm just doing the eulogy. Look at literally any tier list. She's hanging out at the bottom like she's hiding in stealth from the rest of the cast.
All right. Let's figure out what she actually brings that someone else doesn't do better.
Okay, that silence was louder than my alt voice line.
I mean, she has mobility. Grapple feels good. You can get to weird angles on high ground.
Sure, but once you're up there, what then? Shots that tickle tanks and don't quite delete squishies unless they're already one shot.
Exactly. She plays like a budget flanker from a game that got shut down in beta. You go invis, you drop in, you unload the clip, and then you pray your target is already low because you don't have the burst to flip a duel on your own.
And she doesn't give the team much. No hard crowd control, no real peel. Her ult is more stall and disruption than fight winning. She's not even real anti-dive. Dives just keep diving.
From an average solo queue perspective, every Widow lock I see is either feeding or AFK on a roof plinking at tanks.
Meanwhile, Hawkeye gives you
course.
consistent poke, actual pressure on squishies, utility shots, big teamfight ult, and he does it all from long range. If I want a hit scan, I take the one who doesn't have to parkour into melee and pray.
Preach Hawk 2 up!
Don't call me that.
Okay. Pros column is finish low targets if everything goes right. Cons column is the rest of the hero roster.
So we agree she's the worst character in the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Put her in D tier, bottom of the list, anchor around the game's ankle. I would say Widow tier, but you won't let me add a row.
We are not making a new tier just to bully one hero. She goes D tier, dead last, and we move on before Widow mains find the comments section.
They'd have to hit their shots first.
Roll credits. He wins the segment.
All right, Hulk.
This one's easy.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend this is complicated. He's a brick with a driver's license.
He's a brick that commits felonies every time he presses shift. Man has one idea, and it's, what if I deleted your backline with 0 footsies?
From a pure solo queue perspective, he's terrifying. Low coordination, bad comms, no peel, and suddenly there's a Hulk bowling through 3 people because nobody saved stun for him.
His engage range is stupid for how tanky he is. The leap, the armor, the CC chain, the raw damage. He's not subtle. But if you want a tank that just starts fights whether your team's ready or not,
You pick Hulk! Also, every time I hear his ult, I mentally uninstall!
He does fall apart a bit into higher coordination play. You can burn him down or kite him forever if people actually position.
sure, but our list is average ranked experience, not scrim against a tournament team. And in average ranked, Hulk presses W and someone on your team instantly regrets queuing, so we have to respect the impact. I'm thinking A tier. Not meta-defining broken, but absolutely a problem in most lobbies.
A tier works. He's not as consistent as the best tanks, but when he hits hard.
Slap him in A, move on before he jumps through the overlay!
Right, Captain America. Finally, my boy goes in A tier, minimum.
You're out of your mind.
You're still on this?
I never left it. He's not A.
Cap anchors fights. Frontline, barrier, damage reduction aura, team speed.
He walks slowly in a straight line, hoping nobody has cooldowns. That's different.
You play on a rock 3 kilometers away, your opinion doesn't count.
From that rock, I can see your entire team die because Captain America has the mobility of a parked Mako. He throws a shield and politely asks the enemy team to respect his cone.
They do respect it. If you're holding angles right, his barrier cuts entire sight lines. On control maps, you plant Cap on point with a healer and a bruiser, and it's a nightmare to break.
In stacked comps with people in voice who know what a choke point is. In solo queue, Captain America is a guy sprinting in alone, dropping his shield and pinging group up from spawn.
That's not Cap's fault, that's players.
Tier lists are about what actually happens in games, not the fantasy.
Okay, but you can't punish the hero because Jimmy from Quick Play doesn't know how to stand behind a barrier.
I can when every match has a Jimmy.
He's got real peel too. Short cooldown stun on the shield, decent burst if you chain it with the slam. You can actually protect your backline.
And to do that, you have to leave your front line, which means you're now a slightly tankier brawler pretending to be a dive hero. If I want peel that doesn't grief positioning, I pick someone with range or a displacement.
You can rotate between both. I've done it in ranked.
You know what you did in ranked? You had a Wanda babysitting you and a Hawkeye who actually hit shots. Your lobby was blessed by matchmaking.
Fine. Let's talk floor and ceiling. His floor isn't that bad. You can be a mediocre Cap and still bring value like body blocking, stalling, and contesting space. Bad Caps waste less than bad Hulks.
Floor's okay, ceiling's low. That's great for your conscience, not for your climb.
You say low ceiling like being the fundamentals hero is bad. Every game needs that one pick that teaches people how to actually front line.
Sure, new players need training wheels. Doesn't make the bike top tier.
You're really gonna call Captain America training wheels to my face?
To your face.
Okay, Mom, Dad, I love the passion, but the divorce lawyers are in the chat asking what tier we're putting him in.
He's not below B.
He's not above B. I refuse to live in a world where Captain America is rated higher than heroes that actually carry games.
So, shocker, the compromise is B tier. Who could have seen that coming?
B+. I'm saying B+.
We don't have pluses.
We do not have pluses. B tier, stamped, approved, freedom flavored. He's good, he's honest, he's not hard carrying your lobby unless the other team is griefing. And I think that's fair.
B tier. but I'm putting a note on screen that I disagree.
You can pin a comment too.
All right, next up, Cloak and Dagger.
A tier. Done. Next.
Wow, someone's eager. Didn't even let Commander's spreadsheet say overall value in solo queue.
Because he's right. They're just good. Constantly. Double windows now, absurd uptime on heals, and their ult is one of the safest we don't lose here buttons in the game.
They got that buff where you can chain 2 light or 2 dark fields off the same cooldown, so either back-to-back heal zones or back-to-back blind zones.
Yeah. If your Cloak and Dagger isn't topping heals and saving at least one stupid dive per fight, they're trolling. I can run in and somehow still live because Shadow Boyfriend and Glowstick Girlfriend are taping my health bar back together from across the map.
They're also one of the few strategists where I don't feel bad locking triple strat. They pump out heals, they stall objectives, they peel divers, they blind snipers. There's not really a game state where they're useless.
So unless we suddenly decide to throw them into S tier with the true monsters,
Which would make Gambit mains cry and Invis mains insufferable.
they stay A tier.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger and A tier, easy lock. All right, next tank, Doctor Strange.
S tier.
Can I finish a sentence on my own channel?
Nope. Wizard goes in S portals, shields, space control, yada yada. We're done. Roll outro.
He's not wrong this time, Shepard. When a Strange knows what he's doing, the entire match is played on his terms.
Okay, slow down. In ranked, half the Stranges I see are just jogging around mid, whiffing shields on one guy who's already dead and teleporting the team off the point by accident. That's not S tier,
That's a skill issue for your teammates, not the hero. Huge difference.
Even in solo queue, one competent Strange changes the whole map. Bad Stranges are useless, sure, but bad Stranges are useless on every hero. The difference is, when someone halfway knows what they're doing, Strange starts warping rotations in a way Cap never will.
The Cap stray aside, the dome is good, yeah, but it's stall, not a win button. If your DPS are asleep, all you did was buy 5 seconds to lose slower.
It's space control and peel in one ability. He breaks sightlines, keeps supports alive, and blocks pushes. That's exactly what a top tank is supposed to do.
Plus the portal. Suddenly your whole team is rotating for free while the enemy is still trying to walk uphill into Magneto.
And when the team ignores the portal,
Then you get content, I get rage clips, and Strange is still S tier. W for both of us.
The ult is clean too. The knock-up into focus fire. The way he can start or stop a fight from across the lane. He's not a solo carry, but none of the real tanks are. In proper comps, he's just behind Magneto for impact.
I'm just saying he feels A in solo queue. He shines with coordination. Without it, he's a fancy shield bot with a flashy feed button.
You mean a tank that rewards communication? Tragic. Truly a flaw in this team-based hero shooter.
We're allowed to reward players who can count to 3 and follow a portal, Shepard.
Fine. Low S. I'm putting him at the bottom of S.
As long as Wade and I agree on tanks, I can overlook everything else about him for a while.
Wow. Turian tolerance arc. Love that for us.
I said for a while. I fully expect my patience to evaporate halfway through this list.
Good. Save it for when we hit the next controversial pick. Okay, Groot. I'm just gonna say it. I'm tired of losing games because nobody wants to pick a tank, and then some guy locks Groot and suddenly we're immortal.
You heard it here first, folks. Commander Shepard endorses potted plants as a valid win condition.
It's not wrong, though. If he puts the wall in a sane place and doesn't wander off, breaking that hold is miserable.
That unstoppable aura around Ironwood Wall is dumb in the best way. You can't yank him out anymore.
The tank rework favors anchors that give the team something. CC immunity, hard cover, healing. Groot does all 3 as long as you don't grief your own wall.
And if you've got a Mantis that isn't AFK in the kill feed, that team up giving you the extra healing wall turns every overtime into a hostage situation. Triple support with Groot on point is...
Welcome to Marvel Rivals! Your queue time today is 10 minutes, and your reward is never killing anyone on objective again! That comp should be illegal. Groot, Mantis, Rocket, random DPS with a pulse, enjoy never dying.
You can break it. Punisher melts him if your supports aren't brain-locked. But you have to commit a lot of resources just to move a tank off a wall. That's S-tier pressure.
Counterpoint. If your Groot is bad, he's a giant ult battery. Wall thrown across the lane where nobody's fighting, no peel, standing outside his own radius, dying with cooldowns up. We've all had that guy. I'm not arguing B or anything. I'm just saying, A?
You're really gonna call a guy who gives his entire team CC immunity, hard cover, and Giga Heals A because your quick play Groot forgot what a choke is?
You did the Jimmy from Solo Q speech earlier. If we're grading heroes by what they can do when played correctly, Groot is S.
You two agreeing is stressing me out.
Mark your calendars, chat. Sniperbird and Red Spandex are on the same page.
Don't get used to it.
Fine, Groot and S. But when people yell at us in the comments because their teammate fed as Groot, I'm sending them to you.
S-tier hero, C-tier player. That's not our problem.
Okay, Next up, Hawkeye.
Finally, somebody who knows what a sightline is.
Yeah, your boyfriend with the 12-pack of trick arrows. I'm putting him here.
Absolutely not.
I didn't even drop him yet.
I could hear the disrespect in the mouse movement, Shepard. Low A for the guy who deletes half a team if you give him 3 seconds and
In
a
my
balcony?
games, Hawkeye is a guy cosplaying as a UAV and contributing absolutely nothing. They sit on a rooftop, whiff every shot, then type no peel after getting dove once.
In your games, a lot of people are contributing absolutely nothing. That's not a Hawkeye problem. That's an MMR problem.
Says the Turian who's been describing Captain America like he's Mr. Walks in Alone and dies with cooldowns up.
You baited into that. Hawkeye actually cashes out. He has a slow, a displacement, vertical mobility, and an ultimate that erases anyone dumb enough to cross mid. You let him free fire for 5 seconds and the fight's just over.
Yeah, if he hits. Which is the part you keep pretending doesn't matter. Half the ladder can't land a charged shot on a stationary Groot, never mind a dashing panther.
Skill expression matters. A hero who hard wins games in the right hands should be ranked higher than press W and hope the enemy forgets to shoot back.
You literally said with Cap that we're grading based on what actually happens in solo queue.
And what actually happens in my solo queue is that every team with a functional Hawkeye bullies the objective from a screen away while I farm picks on the other angle. He controls space without even committing. One good arrow and the entire enemy team has to play around
in your
it.
solo queue. In mine, they're role-playing a security camera. Great. Wonderful. Could you maybe shoot the guy sitting on my head?
He does peel. The knockback arrow exists. The slow field exists. The grapple gets him into positions where he can actually see the people murdering you.
And then he misses, and we're down a slot.
You're still hung up about Cap, so you're sandbagging Clint out of spite.
I am not sandbagging. I am adjusting for reality. I think he's fine. Good even. But top of S? Over Doctor Strange? Come on.
Different roles, different jobs. Hawkeye is pure pressure. He doesn't have to flip fights alone. He forces the enemy to walk into bad angles or sit behind cover while the payload never moves.
I can get pressure out of literally any ranged hero who knows how to hold right click.
Not like this. He has the zoning, the burst, and the ability to one-tap squishies trying to touch point in overtime. You can build entire comps around enabling him.
And if your Hawkeye isn't that guy,
then your team loses, just like if your healer can't heal or your tank can't tank. We don't put basic competence required heroes in low A just because people queue them drunk.
So your answer is get good and crown him king of S anyway.
My answer is he warps games. That's the criteria. You want to pretend he's flavor of the month because you're jaded about rooftop campers? Fine. But don't drag him down to, yeah, he's okay, I guess, tier.
I'm not saying okay, I guess. I'm saying high A. Somewhere you can still see the ground
He lives
from.
in S.
Every Hawkeye in my lobbies thinks they're in a montage.
Because they are, Shepard.
This is literally you projecting your sniper ego onto a human with worse eyesight.
Unlike half the roster.
Wait, did you move him?
Oh, good! Sentient life has returned. Yes, hi, hello. I put the purple Legolas in S while Mom and Dad reenacted the divorce arc from Season 3.
That's actually where I wanted him.
That's higher than where I wanted him.
Which means it's literally in the middle. See? Compromise, conflict resolution, therapy adjacent, you're welcome, stream!
You didn't say a word that entire time.
You two were doing great without me. I was just sitting here watching the vid length tick up and mentally calculating how many ad breaks you're burning on arguing about one archer. We've ranked, what, 9 out of 46?
That can't be right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we cannot keep having marital disputes every time one of you has feelings. So S, everyone sigh dramatically and move on.
I hate that he's the reasonable one right now.
Same. Next on the list, Hela.
Finally! Hela! I've been so patient! Look at her! Perfect posture! Terrifying DPS! Mommy, this is peak game design!
Focus, Wade. But yeah, she's kinda nuts. Hit scan primary, that spear that chunks you from mid lane, and the ult that just turns the objective into a don't be here zone.
If you're already winning the fight, her ultimate makes sure nobody can touch. If it's even, people try to touch and die anyway.
As someone who has died in that green blender way too many times, accurate. You hear the voice line, see the glow, and suddenly your health bar is before and after.
She is squishy, though. You miss position one time, and suddenly you're a highlight clip for whoever.
True, but she's not supposed to be frontlining. You park her on a safe angle and let her delete anything that peeks wrong. The lack of mobility is a skill check, not a weakness that knocks her out of top tier. A competent Hela just hard carries. She farms tanks over time, punishes bad flanks, and her ult wins fights by existing. The data backs it up. She's on pretty much every best duelist list right now.
Yeah, I've seen those. Best duelist, Hela. Top picks, Hela. Reasons you're losing ranked, not having a Hela, or queuing into a Hela. Very scientific.
So you're both thinking S?
Absolutely yes. She has weaknesses, but they're skill and positioning related and otherwise has a strong lane, strong picks, and an oppressive teamfight ult. She defines the role.
I'm gonna be honest. If we put Hawkeye in S and don't put Hela in S, her mains are going to tear this video apart in the comments. And I don't want to get ratioed by a bunch of goth god of death stands. I want to join them.
Simp.
We're aligned, though. She's one of the few duelists where, when the enemy team locks her, I immediately start planning around her sightlines.
Yeah, I can't argue that. When I see Hela on my team and the player isn't feeding, I know we have a win condition. When I see her on the enemy team and she starts hitting shots, I'm calling rotations just to get her off angles.
So that's a clean sweep then.
Hela goes in S tier right next to Hawkeye.
My queen of death, reigning over the S tier as she deserves. Can we get, like, a tiny crown on her portrait in post? Maybe some sparkles?
I am not putting sparkles on the tier list.
You can compromise with a skull icon.
Skull icon and sparkles. Death can be fabulous too.
All right, next up, Iron Fist. Real talk. Where do we put him? Because solo queue Iron Fist is either hard carrying or feeding ult charge.
That's kind of the point. When he's piloted well, he deletes squishies and refuses to die. Triple jumps, self-heal, damage buff on demand. He's a one-man dive package.
Sure, when he's piloted well. You notice the part where that's what, 5% of players?
5.5. I checked the charts. Totally legit numbers. Don't ask for a source.
You main Captain America. Of course you hate the guy whose job is ignoring the front line and punching your back line in the spine.
I don't hate him. I hate watching our Iron Fist go in 1 versus 5 because he saw a YouTube montage. He dives past my shield, past the healer, into 3 stuns, and then pings needs healing as he evaporates.
He does have something most melee duelists don't. Real self-sustain. The chi heal is obnoxious. If your team doesn't finish him, he just sits behind a corner, meditates for 3 seconds, and comes back with extra health.
Look, as the resident dive enjoyer, I respect him. Dash kick that hits harder the lower you are. Triple jump so you can parkour over every geometry bug, and ult that turns you into a flying blender. He absolutely farms bad backlines.
That's the thing, though. He farms bad teams. Against people who save CC and peel, he feels like a training dummy with footsies.
I wouldn't go that far. He still forces cooldowns. Even if he dies, he drags focus. And if he's coordinated with a second diver, fights flip.
Also, he's one of the few melee picks who can actually reach rooftop campers without needing a taxi. If you've ever been stuck on those vertical maps watching your whole team stare up at a sniper nest, you learn to appreciate the Kung Fu Rocket Man.
I've also seen him chase that sniper halfway across the map and abandon the entire fight on point.
Again, that's players.
Tier list is still for players, Garrus.
And at higher ranks, the players who lock him usually know what they're doing. Down below, he can brute force wins just off mobility and sustain. That feels like A-tier baseline, flirting with S if you actually coordinate.
Yeah, he's like rank-dependent cheese.
So you're both leaning A?
High A, definitely above the coin flips that bring no utility. He doesn't give shields or hard CC, but pressure and chaos are a kind of utility.
Wow, did you just defend inting as macro pressure? You really are a sniper main.
If we put him in S, we're saying you should probably lock him most games. I don't believe that. Too matchup dependent and easy to shut down with layered stuns.
Yeah, if they have every stun in the game and one guy whose whole job is watch the monk, he suffers. That's kind of everyone's problem.
I'm fine with A. He's not shaping the meta the way top picks do, but if you see a good Iron Fist in your lobby, you notice.
Next up, Stark Industries' favorite tax write-off, Iron Man.
Oh boy. Time to talk about the world's most expensive C tier.
You're tipping your hand early.
So is he. Every time he hits spacebar and floats out in the open like a piñata made of hoverboards.
On paper, the kid isn't bad. You've got solid poke. That straight line beam for picks, vertical control.
On paper, he's great. Unfortunately, my games are not played on paper. They're played in solo queue, where Iron Man's natural habitat is hovering above the payload until he gets downed.
He's not wrong. Iron Man players love peeking the same angles until they get punished. When he actually uses cover, changes elevation, and pokes from weird sightlines, he looks fine, but you almost never see that.
There are a few freaks out there making him look S tier. You know the ones. 5-stack, pocket healer, map knowledge. They're just painting the kill feed with repulsors.
And every time you queue with a random Iron Man, you hope it's one of those players, and it's not. It's a guy flying straight down mid who forgets he has a barrier.
Or the dude who saves his ult like it's a family heirloom. No, guys! I'm waiting for the perfect angle! Brother in Christ, the round ended 2 minutes ago.
So where are we landing? I don't think he's as bad as Widow.
He's not.
He has a kit. It works. It's just, why?
C tier, usable with effort, outclassed by the competition, punishing to learn, and too often played badly.
Low B if you're min-maxing around him. But I'm not building the list for the 0.1% of Iron Man savants.
You never build the list for the 0.1%. You build it for the poor souls stuck with Tony, please focus me, Stark, on their team every other game.
C tier, above Widow. At least he can occasionally carry a fight.
Congratulations, Tony. You're officially the valedictorian of the losers row.
Until they buff him and we have to redo this entire video.
If they buff him enough that we move him out of C, I'll happily record another one. I'd like to live in the timeline where Iron Man players aren't free alt charge.
All right, next up is God Help Us Jeff.
Of course he is.
Every Jeff IQ with thinks support means tiny landmine that eats the front line at the worst possible time.
You mean, mysteriously disappears underground right as I finally line up a shot, then reappears having swallowed our tank.
Yeah. I love losing my push because Shark Vacuum decided now was a great time for a funny play.
Careful.
What?
You're gonna want to pick your next sentence very, very wisely, Commander.
Oh no.
My son, my ward, my licensed emotional support war crime, you are not going to sit here on my time in my crossover and talk about him like he's throw pick of the month.
Shepard, I'm just going to point out that the immortal mercenary who can't die and routinely dismembers people is suddenly using his serious voice.
I've noticed.
Here's how this is gonna go, Spectre Squad. You can discuss where Jeff goes on your little color-coded collage. You cannot call him trash, you cannot call him grief pick, and if you even imply uninstall in his direction, I will dig up your hidden MMR, Shepard.
You wouldn't.
I know what your placements looked like in Season 1. I have sources and screenshots.
Right. Okay. Understood. Strictly objective evaluation.
Agreed. No personal feelings.
Proceed.
Fine. Jeff. When he's on your team and actually playing the game, he's obnoxiously good. Tiny hitbox, insane mobility, constant chip damage, and that ult is basically a portable panic room and full heal stapled together.
He dives, knocks people around, hard peels for whoever he likes, and if your carry gets caught, he just eats them, turns them invulnerable, and drags them out of the fight. You don't even get to punish bad positioning half the time.
Trying to finish a kill through Jeff is like trying to execute a Geth while someone keeps yanking them into cover every 2 seconds.
From the sniper perspective, it's worse. I can't see him. He's behind a crate or under the ground or under my feet. Then suddenly the kill I earned is gone, swimming around in a shark's stomach, and by the time they're spat out, the fight's reset.
He also refuses to die. You think you finally cornered him and he just burrows away, or throws up enough disruption that someone else bails him out.
Wow. Listen to you two. Oh no, our adorable ballistic torpedo that heals the team and erases mistakes is too strong. Boo-hoo. Almost like he's good?
I never said he wasn't strong. I said I don't like him.
There's a difference between I hate seeing this in my lobby and this is low tier. Jeff is very much the first one. High impact, high annoyance, high carry potential.
S tier?
S tier.
Wade?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just marking the timestamp where you both admitted on camera that my baby shark is S tier.
So Jeff goes S happy?
Ecstatic. Also, thank you for not saying anything mean about him again. I'd hate to have to edit you.
Shepard?
Yeah?
We are never bad-mouthing the shark again.
Agreed. Moving on. Loki.
Strategist, illusionist, team patch kit. Also the hero most likely to give bronze lobbies a collective aneurysm.
I'm gonna say it up front. I don't want to do the stock, high-skill floor, high-skill ceiling speech again.
Then don't call it that. Just admit that 9 out of 10 Lokis in your games are feeding.
They're trying. It's just hard to tell because half the time there are 3 of him and none of them are standing on the payload.
Okay, but when you get the one Loki who actually knows what they're doing, suddenly every corner has a clone, every choke is a healing zone, and you're burning cooldowns on decoys while the real one is off cosplaying your tank and topping charts.
That's the problem. He's terrifying in the right hands, but those hands are rare. In stacks, people build comps around his illusions and shapeshift. In solo queue, I get the Loki who drops a clone in the open and then dies trying to swap to it while I watch from kill cam.
Wade's not wrong, though. When he's set up properly, he feels like the best strategist in the game.
And when he isn't, he's a really pretty ult battery with a crown.
Pros: flexible healing, good poke, nasty anti-dive when he's set up right, and the mind game factor. Cons: one of the hardest heroes in the game to pilot, and if your Loki isn't planning 2 steps ahead, he might as well be AFK.
Also, the shapeshift. We're not talking about that enough. The first time he turned into me and the enemy team ignored him because, oh, it's just Deadpool trolling again, I took that personally.
It's one of the few forms of CC that still works on veteran players. You make them hesitate. A second of, wait, who is that actually, is often enough.
Right, but we need to land on a tier. I'm not putting him S with how coin flippy he is in rank.
If Jeff gets S for being a monster when people commit to him, Loki deserves at least to be in the same conversation.
Jeff's floor isn't that low. Even bad Jeffs at least body block something on the way to griefing. Bad Lokis don't do damage, don't heal, and never touch point.
Counterpoint. Watching an enemy team waste their entire ult cycle on clones is the purest form of comedy. That has to be worth at least half a tier.
I'm willing to compromise. He's not throw him in any lobby and he shines strong, but he is one of the best investments if you're looking to climb and actually learn him.
So A?
High A. Above cloak and dagger for me. They're strong, but they're linear. Loki warps how both teams have to play the map. You plan fights around him when he's good.
And when he's bad, you plan your mute list around him. Balance in all things.
All right, next support so Garrus can work through some feelings. Luna Snow.
Don't.
Didn't even say anything yet.
You said Luna Snow. That's enough. I'm still seeing the kill cam where she tap danced our entire push off the point. She turned the entire objective into a K-pop healing circle of hell. I either touch and die, or don't touch and lose.
Look, feelings aside, she is kind of cracked. Constant sustain, freeze on tap, glide movement, that idle aura nonsense.
Oh, I'm just gonna casually skate around, freeze whoever looks at my DPS funny, and also overheal the entire lobby while doing a music video. Totally balanced.
And then they buffed her. She was already best support in the game, and the devs went, what if we let her heal herself harder while she's already healing everyone else? She's sustaining through focus fire while turning the floor into ice and glitter. That match before we started recording, I dumped entire clips into her. She lives. She presses one button, their tank's back to full, and we're still stuck outside the door.
No long speech. She lives up here. End of story.
Agreed.
Wow, look at that. Consensus. No screaming or spreadsheets.
When a hero single-handedly makes me consider uninstalling, I don't need a spreadsheet. I need therapy.
We'll put in a support ticket after recording. Next is Magic.
Speaking of Kingsman,
No.
picks when he wants to.
Drop it. You've wrung that joke dry. Move on.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Huh, that was unsettlingly reasonable.
I contain multitudes. Anyway, Horn Girl with the sword. Are we pretending she's not cracked?
She's not cracked in solo queue. She's a skill check. Half the magics I see port themselves into 3 people and die with both cooldowns up.
Yeah, but that's not the hero's fault. When somebody actually knows what they're doing, like pre-placing portals, calling angles, and syncing with engage, she turns every choke into a coin flip in your favor.
Her ult's the real problem. If she's got it up on defense, you burn so much time just trying to touch the point. Teleport, fear, stall, repeat. It's miserable to push into.
But she's still a melee duelist at the end of the day. No hard peel or real ranged presence. If she whiffs, she explodes.
Sure, but that's what separates. I watched a combo video once from I Live in Limbo. She rewards people who actually lab her. And you can't say that about, like, half the roster.
I'm not putting her below cloak and dagger when she can hard carry a fight if she's competent. She creates space by existing near an objective with cooldowns up.
I wasn't going to. I just don't think she's Hawkeye or Hela tier. She needs her team to follow up.
Top of A minimum.
Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, Magneto.
S.
You're not even gonna pretend to think about it?
What's there to think about? He does everything Strange does for your front line, plus better peel and better insurance for your carries.
Strange has better fight flip, though. If we're already giving him S for the ult beams,
Strange flips fights if your team follows up. Magneto just makes bad teams less losable. His shield angles off entire approaches. The personal bubble keeps your supports alive through counter ults, and the knockback wins you control maps by itself.
Yeah. If a Magneto's on the enemy team and my DPS tunnel visions for 2 seconds, I'm in a highlight reel. If a Strange is on the enemy team and my DPS tunnel visions, I'm just dead in a slightly fancier way.
you two were the ones yelling that Strange was an anchor tank.
He is. Magneto's just the safer pick.
Plus, have you seen solo queue? Half the lobby treats payloads like a rumor. Magneto's whole kit is fine. I'll do it myself.
You're saying in realistic solo and ranked, Magneto edges him out.
On impact, yes.
On hotness, also yes, but that's a different list.
Fine. S tier. Next up, Mantis.
Hey, you, editor, hands off that mouse.
What?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Mystery Mantis main scrubbing this at 3 in the morning? Do not drag her to the top of S while they're not looking. I know you want to.
We don't even know who our editor is.
I specifically asked to not know who our editor is.
I know where they sleep.
What?
Explain!
Relax! I saw the project folder. There's a Mantis POV only vid, 3 hours long, labeled Goddess Run Final Final. No one makes that unless they're in love. I just connected the dots. And maybe the IP address. And maybe the ranked history.
We are going to pretend you didn't say that last part.
Point is, champ, we're putting her where she belongs, not where your parasocial heart wants her. You bump her to secret SS mommy tier in post, I Q-snipe you for a week straight.
Okay, moving on from the implied felony. Mantis. Thoughts?
She's good. If your duelist has a brain, she makes them feel immortal.
Yeah. Life orb economy plus the healing flower into damage buff loop is kinda disgusting when it's managed well.
She's the sugar daddy of strategists. Little green piggy bank following your DPS around going, here, have sustain, have damage, have another chance at life, go make choices you'll regret.
The sleep alone is worth the pick. 3.5-second nap on a flanker every 15 seconds is the difference between your other support playing the game and staring at the respawn timer. She's one of the few that can reliably shut down dives and random ults without needing a 20-page playbook.
And Soul Resurgence is one of those ults that doesn't look flashy but wins fights. Big AoE heal, movement speed. Everyone's suddenly undead enough to contest. You don't flip a fight as hard as Luna, but you stop so many lost ones from snowballing.
Her only real downside is she doesn't hard peel herself the way Loki or Ultron can, and once Dive actually gets on top of her, she's made of paper.
Yeah, her health nerf didn't help that. You miss position once, you're just a glowing elimination notification. And if your front line is trolling, your heals and buffs are going into a black hole.
So, translated, she's busted if your team knows what line of sight means, and a very pretty feeding machine if they don't. She's like ranked relationships. Amazing with communication, miserable with 4 strangers who refuse to touch the point.
Pretty much.
She sets up the carries. She isn't the win condition by herself.
So we're agreed? Not top S with the monsters, but way above the middle of the pack supports.
High A.
High A, underline it. Bold. Maybe a little heart for the editor so they feel seen but not obeyed.
I'm still not over you saying you know where they sleep.
What? You don't study your teammates and build psychological profiles?
I'm ending this segment before he says anything else that makes Legal look nervous. All right, Moon Knight. I want to be very clear before we start. If we weren't trying to be objective with this list, I would absolutely tank this guy out of pure spite.
Understandable. Every time he shows up on the enemy team, our win probability drops by about 20%, and my blood pressure goes up by 50.
He is the definition of queue up, mash forward, profit. He's got air control, a grapple, a juggle button, and way too much damage for how fast he gets in. His crescent darts bounce through fights, Moonblade clips people you're not even aiming at, Ankh sucking half the lobby into a blender, and the hand of Khonshu deleting anyone dumb enough to stand still on point.
He has no sustain or real panic button, but he doesn't need them because he spends the entire match airborne or yanking himself into cover. If you're even slightly competent with his hook and double jump, he's on you, off you, and out before anyone can focus fire.
Which is why he belongs in. Say it with me now. C tier.
You're not serious.
Dead serious. I hate him. I hate what he does to my games. I hate that every Moon Knight either hard feeds or 1 versus 5s, and there is no in between. For that alone, straight to the bottom with Iron Man and Black Widow. Exile him.
That's not how any of this works. We're not ranking how much Deadpool likes playing with them. We're ranking how strong they are.
Strength is a social construct. My suffering is real.
You're letting Salt dictate the placement.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we pretending Moon Knight isn't easy mode if you have thumbs? He has a projectile, a better projectile, a crowd control orb, a grapple, and an ult that turns the objective into a no fun allowed zone. If that's not A tier at most, purely on bad vibes...
You literally just argued he won versus 5s
and
teams.
I hate that, so he goes down.
He's S tier. Low skill floor, high pressure, insane mobility. You can't peel him off your backline without committing resources. If you're playing coordinated, he's your dive buddy's best friend. In solo queue, he's still a nightmare if the player understands basic combos.
Thank you.
Et tu, Birdman?
He's overtuned. I don't like him, but I'm not going to pretend he isn't winning games. If the question is, who actually carries ranked matches, Moon Knight's up there with Luna and Hawkeye.
If the metric is how much impact do they have on the average match, he's S. We can't bump him down just because we resent how easy it looks.
I will. Watch this. Why can't I drag him?
Because I locked the source, Wade. I learned after Hawkeye.
You fear the truth!
I fear having to re-record this entire video because you yo-yoed half the roster while I was talking. Moon Knight goes S tier. Get over it.
Whatever.
Namor, he's fine.
You get a Namor who understands when to dive with his team. He feels great. Good displacement, good pressure on point, and his ult forces people to move.
Yeah, when he's coordinated, he's scary. He can shove people off angles and bully squishies if someone's backing him up.
But he doesn't have real self-sustain or panic save when he overextends. If he goes in without backup, he just feeds.
So, average ranked experience. Namor launches himself in like a very wet grenade, explodes, then blames the healer.
Accurate.
Well, he does have a cool couples buff with Hela now. Deep Wrath, extremely metal name, very divorce-coded.
Yeah, but that's more about how cracked she is. He's the +1 in that relationship.
Exactly. Good hero, not a carry god. He sits comfortably below the S mob.
So we're thinking, high B?
High B.
B tier. I'll win games if my team has a brain cell.
All right, Namor and B, that makes
20, which means we stop.
No, this is one video. We finish the list, we export, we suffer through the render,
Commander Content Mill, look at the numbers. 46 characters. We've done 20. That's 26 left after Namor, and your last upload was a 40-minute melee tournament.
Don't remind me.
I am reminding you because chat barely survived the time between your Fazbear reviews and the melee tournament. You really want to drop 2-hour Marvel Rivals tier list that melts your phone battery as the follow-up? We cut here, slap part 1 in the title, leave them foaming for part 2, then we surprise everyone later with a supercut that's just both parts glued together. Triple monetization, baby!
We try to make these a one and done. That's been the whole point.
You try a lot of things, Shepard. You tried to do a fighting game tier list 2 years ago. Remember that? Next up, Marvel vs. Capcom, Guilty Gear. We're gonna rank. And then Marvel Rivals dropped, and suddenly it's, what if we just ride the hot topic instead?
How do you even remember that?
He scrolls your channel more than your subscribers do.
Correct. Also, our dear, beloved, overworked anonymous editor is already dying inside. We stop at 20, we save their sanity, and we don't nuke retention.
2 parts means twice the recommended feed presence, more chances to get picked up by the algorithm, and the channel could use more eyes. My tolerance will probably regret that once we hit, say, Spider-Man, but for now...
For now, democracy wins, and you get a cliffhanger. You're welcome, YouTube.
I hate that he's right.
Get used to it. Anyway, that's 20 heroes down, 26 to go. If you want to see us scream at each other about the rest of the roster, smash the like button, yell at us in the comments about why your main is secretly S tier, and
subscribe so you don't miss part 2.
And so I have tangible proof that suffering through these arguments is good for the channel.
Exactly. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Marvel Rivals tier list, where we continue to ruin friendships and maybe finally let Captain America climb a tier. Probably not, though.
You know what? Fuck you.